I don't know about you, but for me, communication has been my greatest challenge. There have been countless moments where I left meetings frustrated, replaying conversations in my head. Why did I say it like that? Why didn't I say that differently? Why did I miss that opportunity? Over time, I realized that to improve, I needed to reflect. I needed to take the time to build this skill. So I started building, brick by brick, word by word. I scrutinized every conversation, what I said, the results, and what I could have done better. I took precise notes after every meeting, reflecting on what worked and what didn't. I started documenting these reflections, turning them into notes. Every sprint planning, every stand-up, retrospective, every sprint review became a chance to analyze, learn, and grow. There are two important lessons that I learned. One day, I was listening to this incredible speaker. His words were so eloquent, so carefully crafted, they felt like poetry. And then it hit me. He wasn't just speaking from the heart, he was speaking from his notes. Every word he said came straight from the pages of his book, word for word. And that's when I realized, clarity doesn't come by chance, it comes from preparation. Every polished phrase, every impactful sentence is the result of deliberate efforts that came as a result of consolidating your thoughts onto a page. Every great speaker was once a great writer. The next important thing that I learned was that practice does not make perfect. Yes, practice is good and all, but it has its limits. At some point, you hit a threshold where no matter how much you do, how much you practice, you stop improving. Because practice alone isn't enough. You have to study the game. Let's use basketball for an example. You can play for 16 hours every day for the next 20 years and you'll never make it to the NBA. You'll never become great because to reach your full potential, you need to study the game. Communication works the same way. You can talk all you want, but without studying how to communicate effectively, you'll plateau. The most crucial thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. When I first heard this quote, it stopped me in my tracks. It makes me realize how often we think we're communicating where in reality, we're just speaking. The gap between what we say and what we hear is where all misunderstandings reside. And as a Scrum Master, bridging that gap is everything. So how can you improve? This is something that I learned the hard way. You start by reflecting on your conversations. You ask yourself, did I clearly convey my message? Did I truly understand the other person's perspective? What could I have done differently to make the interaction smoother or more impactful? And then take it a step further. Study communication like a craft. Learn from great speakers, pay attention to how they structure their words, and practice not just talking but connecting. To help me on my journey, I compiled every insight, every mistake, and every success into notes. They've become my guide and have served as an anchor. These notes have carried me through every sprint planning session, every stand-up, every backlog refinement, every retrospective, and every demo. And here's the thing. I still use them till this day. They're not just notes, they're a roadmap to navigating the challenges of communication and leadership within this environment. If you're like me and ever struggle to find the right words in the right moment, these notes are for you. Within them, you'll find scenarios that you're likely to encounter and the phrases and challenges that I have relied on to navigate them. And more than that, you'll find my vulnerabilities, experiences, and lessons that I've learned along the way. I want you to start my journey far ahead from where I began mine. My hope is that they shine a light towards your path just as they have illuminated mine. Communication isn't about being heard. It's about creating understanding.